So I could able to make you sure to walk over through the curriculum, what we are going to get discussed and why we are going to discuss these things and how exactly it will be helpful for you. So most of you guys already know about the DevOps because we have been hearing this since last, since if I would say 7-8 years, but we haven't been implemented it yet. Why? Because due to our project constraints or due to our legacy systems or due to our limitations in our project. So that would not able to implement it, but the high time has been came. Why? Because we are in an AI era, right? So everything is migrated to the cloud. So that is actually it is happening. If our tool does not able to migrate to the cloud, other dependency tools are already available in the cloud. So it's not compatible with that. I mean, compatible in the mini can able to do that, but we do have some limitations. It would be not like kind of like in a one go. I can't able to connect you directly. So we need to take some specific downtime with our on-premises system. So to connect to the cloud services. So the cloud service will be available for 24/7. But for the on-premises servers, when we are working any small to medium large scale applications, still we are using our legacy systems. If I would say naming about the .NET applications or any AS400 or mainframes, typically from the banking domain. So whoever they are working or who have any idea on those things, the most of our business enterprises are still with the legacy systems itself. They haven't have any modernized architecture kind of those. Only the front end systems, those have only have been moved to the new systems or a new technical stack they have been using. So coming to our point, so the reason why we have been here today into the class and why exactly we need the DevOps, it's a never ending topic. Or we are going to into the era that every 6 months, if I would say that every 3 months a new tool is going to get come. So for the automation purposes, but we just need to make sure, yeah, these are some set of tools are there, traditional set of tools are there, which are coming from the DevOps culture has been started, so that we need to make sure our basics should be very thorough on that. So once we are very strong in our basics, then it will be very helpful for us to learn the new technical stacks or any new tool is coming into the market, so that it will be very easy to adopt actually. So what we are trying to do today in the class, I'll make sure once again, most of you guys might be known, might be unknown. So I'll just make sure to walk over why exactly we are using the DevOps methodologies and why we need to, this is the high time, why we are going to introduce it, and what exactly the reason to make sure these things are going to coming to the evolve in the near future as well. Why? Because we are into the AI era, right? So for the AI era, everything should be an automation kind of thing. So data is very important for us. So even for the data manipulations or data to make any pipelines without any breaking, so it should be continuous data should be get flow. So you can't able to do it from the traditional way, right? So coming to the traditional way to the DevOps cycle, I just want to make sure to bridge gap between those things. Most of us, we are almost all the engineering grads. So right, we are from the technical background, if I'm not wrong. So we heard about the software development lifecycle, right? SDLC. That is our main ethos for the software development. For any project, even any application, if you take from even the DevOps has been introduced from the SDLC itself. Only everything is got evolved. So what is the reason of the SDLC? So we come into the prepare regarding the SDLC, software development lifecycle.
Hello.
Yeah, Shruti.
Sir, please share your screen.
Yeah. I'm going to share my screen. So I do have a document.
Okay.
So I'm going to share it.
Yes.
Yeah. It's okay. So this is just an introduction kind of thing. So why the curriculum and why we are going to introduce these things and what exactly the reason why we need it at the moment. You take any project in our legacy systems or any from the modernized systems, anything, our main ethos is that any software development is SDLC, software development life cycle. So that is the main thing where we are being following since ages, if I would say, since ages we are getting following into it. So the reason why we are getting followed, so we gather the requirement first and we discuss about the requirement and we implement the requirement. Once it has been implemented, we do the rigorous testing. Once the testing has been completed, we go to the UAT stage. Then once the UAT has been done, then we'll finally push into the production. So we do have 5 to 6 steps we traditionally follow. if something, anything is happened in between these steps, again, we are sitting into the back into the table. Again, we are going to reintroduce or adding to the where exactly the fail has been happened. So again, we need to start working on the requirement. So it's a basically redoing is happening. So in the redoing is getting happening. So all our efforts, time, and the resources and the amount and the cost, everything is comes into the picture, right? So just to implement, just to develop a simple application, we are taking almost a month or 2 months to from the requirement gathering to the development to the testing and to the production. So everything is going to take a time, and particularly with the resources. And the resources in the seams means what are the prerequisites on which specific technology we are going to. So either if you name it as a Java, either if you name it as a .NET, either if you name it as a JavaScript, anything, or Python, anything. So what we are trying to mitigate here the problem, what exactly the solution here we are going to provide. So to reduce this timeline, to reduce this efforts, manual efforts, mainly the manual efforts. So where exactly we can able to do this. So we are following a culture called SDLC. Later, we come into the picture called agile process. I hope you guys are all are aware of the agile process. So in the agile process, what happened? Okay, there is no any specific tracking is there. Let's introduce a Jira board. So we got the Jira actually. Jira is nothing but this. I hope you a lot of people are aware of. Might be you guys know that Jira is contained as a ticketing tool, so that all the boards will be there. All the guys, what exactly happening in the project level, everyone come to know. So okay, the ticket has been got created on the specific date, and it has a something specific SLA time. So in this specific timeline, I need to resolve that issue, or else if something is there, I need to update the ticket. Similarly, the incident management in the service now we do have, so that if the user is facing any difficulties, so I can't able to log in, it is the screen is getting crashed, the transaction has been failed. The small examples we generally our day-to-day life when we work on the our systems, we are going to be get faced. So in this specific kind of things, incident management. So an incident will be get tracked. Okay, we give the priority for that. It's a P3, P2, P1. So within 1 hour, I need to resolve this. Within 5 hours, I need to resolve this, or within 2 days or 3 days. So and there is a Scrum call will be there. So okay, in this particular sprints are came in that particular sprint. Sprint is a nothing but kind of a season. In 2 weeks, every 2 weeks, okay, this is the work we have been allocated. Everyone has been done or not. So this is how we move to the agile process, so that where we can easily able to track where exactly our position is that, and we can easily able to identify the risk exactly. Yeah, this is where exactly the risk is there, so that I can able to take some extra time, so that I can able to complete before the time itself only. So that this agile process has been somewhat has been helped. But the thing is that even though we are using the agile process, at the end of the day, developers are doing in the manually only. So they are going to do the specific inputs, or they are going to develop the specific software. They need to work on those things in a similar traditional way itself only. Now here comes to mitigate the risk and the time and the cost and the resources comes with the DevOps actually. DevOps is a culture. It's not about a technology or something. So it's a all the collaboration of automation tools. So we are working with the automation tools. So earlier we used to save our code in our own laptops. So after we have been in cloud, we are storing our code in the cloud, so that everyone can able to see it. So there is a specific dedicated tool has been kept to just to store the codes. So that is called GitHub actually. So GitHub is the place. Actually it's a storage purpose itself only. You can store anything, but we do have specific to just to store our code, right? It's a source code management tool, we call it as. So it is there only to job to code you to store your code. That's it. So any technical stack, it can easily able to recognize it, and we can able to store, and we can able to collaborate with other developers. So meaning there is a zero downtime has been kept. So I mean zero collaboration has been completely what I would say that collaboration has been increased instead of it is decreasing, so that everyone can able to see what exactly you have been done. So your third party member can able to see it, your colleague can easily able to step into it, and he can able to help on it. He doesn't no need to wait for the next coming day or next coming call. So you have been facing some issues, so they can easily directly jump into that, and they can easily help to you that, so to get mitigate that risk. So that is the first thing. And the second thing, we are into the completely on-premises servers. On-premises means physical servers. For the physical servers, what exactly we need to do maintain for those servers. Every time we need to connect with our server guys. We need to ask them to give me some allocation, give me some kind of what I would say the login credentials for the. I need some specific type of RAM, specific kind of storage space. We need to ask them. So the network team will reach out to us and they will provide the network credentials to us. So all these are the manual efforts and manual process, and everything comes into it's a kind of a traditional kind of a setup to get to the physical server access. So here comes the cloud services has been placed with the physical services. Cloud services in the same space, AWS and Azure. These are the two popular one, and the GCP, and this is a third popular one where we are going to be considered. So these cloud servers has been rescued that if you want a 10 GB of space, right now it will be get available. If you want a 30 GB of storage space, it will be get available. Right now, if you want 32 GB of RAM, it's immediately, instantly it is available. So you no need to wait to make sure it is configuration and everything. It's going to be get set up done. So I'll just tell you a small example. If you guys are remember, I think most of the guys, we are into the era of cloud and everything. If you remember, when we have a desktops in our homes, so we used to work on Windows XP, correct? Or Windows 92, if someone remembers. So to install a specific software, I mean to install a Windows 7 software or Windows XP software, it takes hours and hours. Just to install a software, 6 to 7 hours or 8 hours. If any power failure has been kept, you need to restart it again. If anyone has been if you have been done. So we used to write the product code and Windows key and everything. We need to write on those things. So all these things has been mitigated. Just within seconds, you can able to launch your own server. So this is how the automation has been came place. So meaning you no need to wait to develop an application. You can able to develop an application within seconds. I would say that within minutes, you can able to create all those things. And next, coming to the picture, the most important thing is the security. So obviously, even in the physical servers itself, there is a lot of data breaches happening. In the cloud, there are much more vulnerability has been kept. Vulnerability in the sense, a lot of bugs issues, lot of DDoS attacks, and everything is going to be get happen. So to make sure to reduce the risk and mitigate those risks and everything. So we need to securely deploy whatever the application we have been created. So meaning, so we do have a containerized platforms. So we do have a deployment services platforms are there. So that is nothing but called Docker and Kubernetes. So these are the services. These are the tools which are very robust and we can easily able to use securely and without any data loss. I'm not at all saying that 100%, but if you allow the specific rules and permissions, if you set up means, so they can easily able to there is zero possibility to breach all those things. So if you remember means when we get any big billion days offers or any kind of any other specific offer from any e-commerce companies, the regular traffic is different and the unusual traffic is different. Even if we buy a ticket from the IRCTC, you can see that there is a lot of heavy traffic will be there since morning 8 to 10, because that is a particular time where all the millions of users are logged into the IRCTC application, and it's completely our API call is there. At every call is an API call, first of all. So that call unable to reach to the server point, it's going to be get lost. Why? Because there are not enough servers are not available to support that application. So meaning, just an example, your phone is there. Your phone has consists of 16 GB of RAM or 8 GB of RAM with 256 GB size. Imagine that particular with that size, only hardly it will can able to consume 10,000 calls. So meaning it can able to only to accept 10,000 calls. That's it. That RAM will be get filled up and the data storage, everything is filled up. Now imagine with the millions of users, how much gigabytes of data is required, how much RAM size is required for each and every server. I'm just leaving up to your imagination. So that's how the scaling level is going to get happen. Scaling level. So here's the point to be noted. So meaning whenever the user requirement has been increased, our job is to make sure the application should be get availability. So application availability in the meaning the server should be make sure availability. It should not be done in the manual process. It should be done in an automation process. All these things should be able to do in the Docker services and the Kubernetes services. Okay, so this is how the to do all these things. We do have a Terraform, we do have Ansible as there, we do have for the configuration management, everything we do have. So, but the most of the tools which we are going to use it, everything is an automation kind of thing. So we need to must ensure that learn the basics, and we need to know how exactly we are using that application. Just like I'm an Android user, you guys, some guys using the Apple application, iPhone users. So someone you ask the switch over to the Android to the Apple, well, he will be he can't able to do it right immediately. I mean, in some time he can able to do that. What are the settings, how to open a WhatsApp, what are the other things, and it's completely different. The configuration is completely different. Similarly, whatever the work we are doing, right, first we need to know what are the settings, what are the options, what are the modules, what are the connections, what are the integrators, what exactly that application, how to start that application, how to end that application, how to configure that application, how to use that application, how effectively you can able to manage that application. So these are the basics you need to understand. I hope you got it. I'm just going on monolithic. So anyone, yeah, I'll take up the questions. I'll just give a pause. Yeah, guys, anyone? Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Any questions or anything? I'm just, let's be the interactive session. That would be better, right? Instead of going on a monolithic. So that's the reason. Yeah. Any questions or any doubts you guys have, any points you want to add it, because it's an open session, right? So anyone can come up with your ideas. Any question, any doubts are there, what exactly you're feeling. I just want to know so that we can able to go ahead with the next topic. Okay, I take the silence as an acceptance. Nothing said. Yeah, someone. Yeah, Khalid.
Sir, I want to ask, like, for automation, which tools we will be working on? Like, I know one which is Terraform, right?
Yeah.
And which are more automation tools we can expect?
Yeah. To be honest with you, there are a lot of automation. Terraform is one of the automation tool where we are going to use it, so that you can easily able to. There are a lot of cloud services we do have, right? So the AWS is there, Azure is there, GCP is there. So now the organizations are not relying on one cloud service, right? Let's take an example. If you remember, Miss, last year there is a attack happened to the Microsoft, right? So everything has been came into stall. The Azure has been stopped working. Some regions has been completely stopped. So what the organizations has been done? Okay, let's deploy our resources, database in one cloud application, our main front end in one application, and middleware in another cloud service. So that we need to work on the multi-cloud environment. If I would say that hybrid cloud, if I would name it as a hybrid cloud. So why, when you are having a hybrid cloud environment, you need to understand how AWS services is going to get work. You need to understand how the Azure services are going to get work. You need to understand the GCP services are going to work. So you need to write your script or something according to AWS services. In AWS services, we do have a cloud for it. In AWS also, we have a cloud formation. We do have cloud formation template. We do have. So like that, we do have in the GCP also, we do have specific thing. So we need to write in such a way the syntax, what AWS understands, what Azure understands, and what GCP understands. But here the catch actually. So what is the catch here? Can't we have a same script so that I can able to execute in all the cloud services, so that a unique script should be there? So that's what the Terraform comes into the role places here. So a Terraform can easily able to execute one script so that can easily executed in AWS, in Azure, in GCP, or any other cloud services, whichever are popular are there, like kind of Alibaba, IBM iCloud, lot of other, any popular services, any kind of thing. So Terraform comes into the place, into the picture. So whatever the services you required in the AWS, you no need to write those services in that own language, in that own interpreter. So use the Terraform script. That's it. So it's going to be executed, and the execution level is universal. You can execute the same script in any cloud services. Okay, you just need to name the cloud server name, and you just need to provide the logins and the credentials. That's it. So that's how the automation has been came into that level. Okay. Yeah. Anyone other questions?
Okay,
And so I already said with the DevOps and who are going to get learned. I already said to you that so all the developers from the sysadmins and who are the testers and the cloud engineers, even the business managers who just want to see overview of the what exactly are running. Suppose take an example who are in the business analyst or business managers who are into the programming managers right now who just want to aspire or who are currently working or going to work on those things. So they can easily able to manage all this in DevOps. So just create a dashboard and you can able to see what exactly your team is doing. Okay, this guy is using 25 servers has been launched. This guy has been working on this particular development part. This guy has been doing on this particular testing task. And these many applications are deployed in the cloud server. Everything you can able to create in a visualized dashboard. Instead of your pinging your teammates or asking the status or setting a meeting and everything, you no need to do all those things. Everything is available in an automation tool, and there is a dashboard, a nice dashboard. You can able to prepare it and you can able to visualize it. If application is running down, the first thing you will be get to know it. No need to go to the developer kind of thing. So they can easily able to send an alert automatically. So all these things are getting possible using or benefit from this DevOps skills, actually, to be honest with you guys. So there are some prerequisites we do have. So what are those prerequisites? Suppose take an example. Anything if you want to learn, we need some prerequisites, right? So yeah, you need to be. Suppose you want to you are learning matrices. So obviously you need to be good in your mathematics. Then only you can able to learn the matrices. Similarly, for the DevOps, you should need to know the basic Linux commands. Linux commands is enough. So everything is inspired by the Linux operating system. First of all these tools, and it's all with the scripts only. So I will make sure to have all those Linux commands. So basically, what is a Linux? It's an operating system, right? Like a Windows is an operating system, iOS is an operating system. Similarly, Linux is also an operating system. We use Linux for secure purpose itself only. Still, no one has been breached any Linux operating system till today. So that is very widely used and widely accepted. So that is the reason enterprises are using their own version of the Linux system. So just takes an example. Even ourselves as we can easily able to open our own kind of Linux version, okay, operating system, if you guys want to do that. So that's what the AWS has been done. That's what the Ubuntu has been done. That's what the Sushi Linux has been done. That's what the Red Hat Linux has been. There are some other lot of 100+ operating systems which are available with the Linux operating system backend. So they just use the basic Linux kernel OS itself only, but they have their own kind of customized operating system. Okay, that is the only difference. There is no any other difference. All the Linux commands are same, and it will be get executed. Only the server going to get started for the restart. They have their own specific kind of commands. But you guys are also open to us because it's an open source. DevOps complete tools are open source. Earlier, all the tools which are available in the market and everything, you need to pay license fee for that, and there is some validity for that. So if you want to use that particular software 1 year, you are going to use it for the 1 year itself, and you need to pay a specific amount for that. But here in the DevOps, everything is open source, and that too free actually. Yes, when we are using actual enterprise systems, like we obviously work in MNCs, right? So they won't rely on the open source, right? So they will pay for it. Why? Because in the open source, you hardly get 1 GB of RAM and 8 GB of hard disk. That's it. But in the enterprises, we can't able to work on 1 GB, right? Even our mobile phones are more than 256 GB and 512 GB, right? So it doesn't make any sense to use these things. So they are going to use the enterprise versions. So enterprise versions, why they are going to use it? Immediately they used to get the support. Once you are paying someone, so you will get a support, right? Takes an example. I hope you guys, most of the guys has been used the AWS services. Free services. So when you use any free services, you might be encounter any kind of issues, right? You don't have any specific kind of a customer support or customer ticketing tool won't be provided. But if you use the enterprise services, right, a dedicated dashboard 24/7, 365 days customer support dashboard will be get provided. So if you find anything data has been lost, data has been theft or something, anything. So by default, AWS comes into support and they will going to retrieve back whatever the data has been lost and everything they are going to do within hours, if I would say that. So that's the difference, enterprise and the free version. So make sure to have, we are going to work on the enterprise itself only most of the time. But for our training purposes and everything, the free version is enough. For open source tools, which the free version which they have been provided, those are enough. Okay. And next to that, you need to must understand the scripting. So what kind of scripting we need? We need to learn about the shell scripting for the automation and for the Python scripting to make sure integrate all these platforms. So and the cloud fundamentals. So cloud fundamentals in the sense of how to access the AWS and how to launch those things and how effectively, not only launch is just anyone can able to do that, but what kind of configurations you need to do that, what exactly about the requirement. Just like if you go to any shop or anything, you just buy something kind of, you go to a mobile shop, you ask the customer, right? I mean, to the shopkeeper, I want 100 megapixels of cam, I want 32 GB of RAM, I want 512 GB of hard space memory, I want this specific configuration. Similarly, our clients also ask the same thing, right? So those things you need to understand and you need to make sure to create all those things. So how you're going to understand? So there are some kind of some authority issues. So you need to provide those authority issues. You need to provide some specific users only should access. You need to provide to that specific user, and they will ask them some users you need to be restrict. You need to restrict some users. So these kind of things are going to come into the picture. It's just not just like a launching actually. So we need to do end-to-end services. Just like our Windows operating system, we generally log into the Windows, right? Our Windows laptop. So we can able to create multiple users, right? For the, if we are two siblings, we have two users you can able to create. If we are three siblings, we can able to create 3 users, even in the iOS as well. Similarly, we need to create multiple n number of users as well to the one for the one cloud server public machine. So that how we are going to do that, how you need to give the access to them, how exactly the password will be get created, how exactly you can able to make sure integrate those things with other users. All these things are comes into the picture. Okay, so you need to understand. And next you need to understand the Git version control system. So basically Git is nothing but, as I said, GitHub as a source code management control, and Git is a version control system. What is meaning by version? So a developer wrote 10 lines of code today. So that is called first version. And tomorrow that same developer wrote another 10 lines of code. That is nothing but a version 2 has been created. And another day he just deleted the whatever the lines he has been wrote, another 10 lines. That comes with a version 3. So meaning whatever the things a developer has been created, that is will be noted as a version actually. Version 1, version 2, version 3, version 4. If something has been changed, that becomes to the next version. So in the Git, what exactly you need to do it? So suppose after 6 months, a client has been came and you're asking that, hey, you wrote on the Jan a code, you need to deploy that. We will get forget, right? We are humans actually, but the versions which have been created, that doesn't going to have impact, right? So you need to take that version ID and easily you can able to deploy those things. So that's how the Git version control helps for us to manage our code changes and everything. Okay, I hope you guys all are understood and everything.
Yes.
Whatever
Yes,
things
sir.
I'm saying. Yeah. Okay. Any doubts or anything, you just interrupt me so that it will be very easy, right? Just because let's have a interactive, so that would be it. Now coming to the market trends, obviously, what are the struggling and everything we are going to face? Obviously, we need to survive in the market, right? So rapidly and growing anything in the field is in IT, that is called DevOps. That you are already aware of it, and I no need to say it again and again. It's due to only to the digital transformation. Why the digital transformation is happening? So everyone, they are moving to the cloud. Why? Because even though sitting with the physical servers in the traditional way, the other compatibility and other competitors, whoever the competitors are providing better services, we obviously switch over to that, right? In the business, that's what happens. Similarly, the companies are using all these things to make sure to move their services which they are offering to the customers into the cloud, so that they can easily able to make sure a smooth transition to the customer without any kind of disruption, or without any hesitate, that he can able to access their application and everything. That is the thing. Okay, so and all the organization which you are currently training, everyone is moving to the AI. But the base for the AI is DevOps itself. Why? Because without DevOps, you can't able to implement all these AI. Everything, automation, everything is done through the DevOps. Then only you can able to implement the AI. In the physical server, you can't able to implement the AI. That is for sure. And that if you're going to implement, it is restricted to that particular your system itself, to that particular organization itself, to that particular PC itself only. But if you implement all these DevOps methodologies in your applications or in your server, in your product, then you can able to integrate to the AI. So here the core, what exactly the red line here or any stopping, if you doesn't able to implement all these DevOps implementations in your application or in your project or in your product, so you can't able to thoroughly or actively implement all these AI technologies or AI LLMs. We generally calling as AI agents, AI LLMs, and everything, the RAG-based solutions and everything. All these are going to come into the picture once you have been implement all these itself. You can't able to implement before without all these things. So the base is this. So what exactly it proves here? So there is a high demand is there, huge opportunities are there, and everything will be getting to the picture immediately, so that we can easily able to make sure end-to-end smooth process and without any downtime or without any kind of any disruptions or any vulnerability or security attacks, and everything will be taken care of by the DevOps engineer. So that is the reason the market still it is strong, and it's going to be trend in the next 10 to 15 years continuously. This is going to get happen, because even for the AI, you need to give a prompt. You need to make sure understand that particular LLM. So it just like a textbook. If you all remember, miss, we just learn from the textbooks only, right? We learn the textbook, and from that the questions are going to get come. Similarly, a language model is just like a textbook. We need to understand it. Then we will give the prompt, just like a question paper. So then you are going to get an answers from that. So it's just like a textbook. So any tool or any services, you need to create an LLM, and you need to make sure adopt those things with your application. Then only it's going to be able to give the proper kind of a response to that, or else it's going to give any rubbish response itself on. So these are the things are coming into the picture. Okay, I already covered the history, evolution, traditional, and DevOps and everything. So automation purpose. So and the DevOps life cycle. So and the closing, it's just a mindset of collaboration and continuous improvement without any disruption. So it's just a continuous integration, continuous deployment. So we generally call it a CI/CD pipelines. It's a very simple itself only. So you without any interruptions by defaultly, once the code has been came into the source code management tool, so it by default itself only the server will be set up and the application will be deployed and it will be get available to the user. So that's what we call the continuous integration and continuous deployment. So that's how the software delivery we can able to make it faster and respond very quickly to the customer. Okay. Yeah, guys. And now I open to the questions. I just want to take from you guys any questions or anything. Yeah, guys. Anything, any question you can find. Lot of, obviously, when we are joining any session, obviously we used to get right lot of questions. Just ask freely so that we can easily able to mitigate those things. Yeah, Vishant. Yeah, Sabyasachi.
Yeah,
anyone?
actually, you said that there are some prerequisites that need to be mandatory, right? So do you
Yeah,
have any links? Because we got the links for Linux, but the other fundamentals of clouds and
yeah, we do have. We are going to cover all those things, and that's what I'm just trying to tell you, Vishan. Everything is an open source. The only thing is that we need to understand how we are going to develop it. See, take an example, Vishan. Right now we are in. We all guys has been used the AI tools, right? ChatGPT we have been used, Cloud we have been used, Gemini we have been used. We know everything, but we are unaware how to implement those things. How exactly the system is going to get work. It will help up to only to make sure resolution your doubt. It only helps to accelerate your work. That doesn't mean that it works entirely on behalf of you. It just accelerate your work. Acceleration in the work means instead of we are doing one day our work, we are going to do 10 days of work in a one day. That's how the automation or that's how the AI is going to get help. At the end of the day, manual effort is obviously it is necessary, and we are going to implement on those things. Upon that, we are not going to stop on the same version, right? So the second version is going to come, third version is going to come, fourth version is going to come. So all these things are going to come into the picture. Now coming to the specific with you, I have been asked Linux only. Everything is available in online, but how you are going to execute those things. Can't we able to create all the Linux commands in one shot instead of executing one by one? That is nothing but called shell script actually. Okay, if you execute one command, it's only executed only one time itself. Now you want to execute multiple commands at a time, you need to write a shell script. Okay, that is nothing but called a combination of your Linux commands. We are going to write in a file, single file. Okay, this is how it works. So you need to understand how to create a folder. Basics I'm saying, how to install a software, how to execute that particular application, how to open that application, how to enable the port, how to enable the connection. Just like we do in our Windows, right? In our Windows operating system, you want to connect your internet to that. So you open the ports, you open the gateways and everything. Everything is a graphical user interface, but the Linux is not a graphical user interface. Most of the Sushi Linux and Debian, they are the graphical interface, but most it is not much familiar with the Windows operating system. So that is the reason. Okay, to create this folder, to create a file, to create a, to create a, what I would say that a PDF kind of thing, a normal text file kind of thing. What is the how you can able to create it? All these things are going to be covered in the Linux topics. Okay.
Okay.
Hello, Sasanka. Actually, I want to ask how much cloud we required. Like you talk about like Azure, AWS.
Yeah.
How
So
much?
to be honest with you, Khalid, with our free services, it's not going to get happen. Why? Because it's a pay as you go, right? As you all are aware of that, it's a pay as you go. How much time you have been used, though that amount you need to pay. We have a thing that is up to 500 to 600 hours. The AWS provides a free for us, but it's up to limited itself only. Only 1 gigabyte and 8 GB RAM. How 8 GB space? How much it will going to get? Hardly with one Jenkins and one Terraform software, it's done actually. It's completely completed. So we need to use our premium services. I would request you guys to use some premium services. It just hardly take less than $20 or $30 itself only, and we register as a students, right? You can able to directly ask to the customer service. I mean, we have a dedicated customer service as well for the accounts which we are managed. They are going to reduce or they are going to waive off that as well. So that thing as well. And I myself can able to provide some credits as well in internet or in the LinkedIn. I request you to actively you just search for the credits actually. Sometimes I used to get it, so I'll try to forward you those credits actually, so that $100 or $50 credit. So it will be help us to accelerate our work or our learnings in the AWS. Okay, so if some after 10 days or 15 days we are using, someone will comes up and they say, hey, my cloud, my credits are completely utilized. What can I do that? Then I don't have any answer for that. So either we need to get caution, either we need to pay for that. That is the only option is available for us. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
With the free credit, we can't
Yeah.
can't deploy. You guys say.
Yeah, exactly. There is a restrictions and limitation. Why? Because everything they can't provide it free. Only basic services they are going to provide it free. With our training curriculum and everything is there. Right? Those we can able to cover. But still, we can't able to utilize all those things. We need some other credentials. We need to cut down our application size and RAM size, and either else we need to create multiple accounts. Sometimes we need to make sure to have multiple accounts as well. So to make sure our what I would say that our application to be end to end should be get work.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
to go with the, as a DevOps engineer, do we need
Yeah.
to have multi-cloud, knowledge?
To be honest with you, as of now we stick with one cloud. That is enough. I would say that once we have been done, then you can able to go with the multi-cloud. Why? Because first you need to understand one cloud, how exactly it's working end to end. Then you can able to understand. It's just like a bank. HDFC Bank is there and ICICI. Both the banks are same. It doesn't mean that you need to have both the accounts. Yes, for the transactions, for the loan, or for the EMIs, one bank is enough for us. Similarly, for one cloud service is enough to understand. Later, you can able to enhance your knowledge and suppose for the hybrid cloud, as I said, correctly pointed out. Then you can able to get into it. So that is the reason, right? To not entire the knowledge is necessary to learn about the AWS, for the Azure and the GCP, but Terraform is the one which fills the bridge gap between us. So it understands the same script you can able to execute in all the clouds, all the cloud servers, all the cloud services which I have been providing. So that will help you. So that is my suggestion. Stick with the AWS. That is the best one and is a popular one. So later you can, if you have time or if you have the project scope is there, then you can easily able to get into the Azure. The only reason is with the Azure is that Azure is very good in the API services, and Azure is very good in the storage services. Why? Because they used to provide a lot of database solutions, everything. They are the pioneers in the SQL servers, right? So and with the Azure cloud servers to support our operating systems and everything, and the API management. But for the servers and every other thing, AWS is very good for us. So most of our servers we call it as an EC2 instances. All these cloud instances and everything we are going to launch in the AWS itself only. So we just only use few parts of services in the Azure, but it doesn't mean that we can't able to implement it in the AWS. Yes, we can able to implement it. The only thing is that it's not much user friendly. This is user friendly. Okay, the user friendly in the same sense. Usually you can able to identify the menus where exactly they are there. You easily identify. You can able to where exactly the location. You can easily identify in that user interface. It is not much user friendly in the Azure. That's it. Yeah. Anyone? Any questions?
Yeah, like
No.
one question.
Yeah. Go ahead, Vishal.
So for cloud services, we should focus on AWS only.
Yeah, AWS is enough for the starting. Whoever has been starting, yes, I just want to know about the cloud. AWS is enough for us. Yeah, anyone?
Yeah,
Someone?
my question is like, so my question is like, I understand AWS is user friendly, and we should first mastering one of the cloud.
Exactly.
And then we can go for a multiple. That's correct. It's like
Yeah.
The thing is same. Like for example, like Uber, Ola, or Rapido.
Yeah, that's true.
For example, but the concepts are clear. The services are similar. Only the name or flavors are like different. We can understand. But like we can see in the market, there are a lot of requirement for GCP also, Google Cloud.
Yeah, GCP as well. The reason is that Go ahead, Faizan. Sorry, I'm interrupting you.
No problem. So like so my question was coming into mind that I know AWS is a major companies are using this particular cloud platform, but there's a lot of requirement when we see for GCP and Azure also, Microsoft Azure also. So like right now people they are looking for if we have a multi-cloud talent. So they are looking for that particular people because they have like a lot of product service based companies are there. So they also, and service based companies are also there. They also who have multi-talent people with a dual learning technology. So that is also is very a plus point for us. And Google, like as per Shashank, you said that Google and Azure is for the API and the storage is for good.
Yes.
So what is the Google? Google is for best, like Google platform.
Yeah, that's true actually. Why? Because Google is heavily investing from the AI infrastructure. Okay, that doesn't mean that AWS and Azure are investing. They are pioneers in the cloud services providing. I mean, for the storage services providing everything. But here we can easily able to integrate the AI services and the LLM services here. So AWS has been also provided a new service from the past year, from the couple of years, AWS Bedrock, so that you can easily able to explore if you guys having some time, so that you can able to integrate your AI services in the AWS as well. So it is quite becoming popular. And coming to the cost point of view, at the end of the day, cost comes into the major play role, right? So if someone asks you offer, hey, buy this particular product, so you ask me what would be the benefits for me and how exactly it's going to be compared with other products, how effectively cost. That's what the comes into the picture, right? So cost comes to the main purpose. So if you compare with AWS and Azure, 15 to 20% the cost is less compared to the other cloud service providers. But again with the GCP, as you correctly pointed out, if you compare with the Uber and Ola and Rapido, so it falls in the similar category only. Why? Because we are much more familiar with the Uber interface. If you see how smooth and how sleek that user interface. Again, if you see with the Ola, it is different. Again, you compare with the Rapido, it is again little bit rigid for us. So it doesn't mean rigid in the same sense. The user interface, how it looks and how popular itself, that's how it works, right? Similarly with the GCP as well. So we do have a cloud. The cost is less, and compared to the other the storage services which they have been providing, right, that is very less compared to the AWS and compared to the Azure. But why the reason still the companies and the entities are choosing the AWS and Azure, right? So the presence in the market, the thing is that how popular you are and how the quality of services you are providing, right? That matters, right? So AWS already is king. Obviously, if someone is providing very good, and even though it's a premium, so they can't able to put their entire application in the stake, right? So what they are doing, they are following this hybrid cloud. Okay, for storage purposes, we'll keep in our database in the GCP, our main application in the AWS, and our middleware and the API management and everything in the Azure. So in such a way, they are managing their cloud services.
Okay, got it. Thank you, Shashank.
Yeah, welcome. Yeah, anyone others, so that we can close our session. Anyone, guys? Rucha, Maheshwari, Akansha, Muskan, Hamid, Vishant, Sachin, Sabyasachi, Dinesh, Shweta. Anyone? Any questions or any doubt? Okay, guys, then I can take your silence as a agree. Then we can close this session. So if you have any doubts or anything, just post us so that I'll try as soon as possible to respond with you guys. Okay. Have a nice day. Have a good night.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Vishal.
You said that you will be providing with free credits, right? So.
Yeah. Coming to that, Vishal. Yeah. So whenever we log in, right, obviously we'll get $100 credits or a specific amount of hours for us. So I will try to provide you guys. I'm not at all promising it, but I used to get a lot of credits to share with our guys who are the learning, right? So I have some connections with other guys. So they used to provide. So I'll try to provide those things.
Okay,
if whenever it is up.
Are you with us in a group, or how will we communicate?
Within a group itself, I'll communicate with the LearnoMate, so those guys can able to share too. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sasanka, hello.
Yeah.
I want to ask, if you have multiple accounts for AWS, can we share the credit?
No, you can't do that. Even you need to change your complete identity as well, or else it's going to get captured. So what I would suggest that if you guys are little bit extend, so that you can able to within 30, I promise you that within 30 or less than $30, we can able to do all these things. Or else means you need to migrate. The migration, right? So again, you need to drag and drop all the services applications which have been created, right? So you need to deploy into the new user ID. So that again little bit hesitate for us, little bit. What I would say that doesn't looks good for us. To again, you need to integrate to the old. You need once IP address has been changed, you need to configure for all other applications. That's again it will be a hectic task for us. So I would suggest make it very minimal. And I will also try to provide some credits on the same account so that you guys can able to utilize it. But it's subject to availability, because I used to get very less. But if I get means, I used to get 10 to 15 credits at a time. So I can able to share it. And I will try to provide is there any, I will try to explore other cloud platforms which they are going to provide in the sandbox environment. Generally, there are now a lot of startups has been came, like kind of they used to provide the sandbox environment. So sandbox in the sense, whatever the things you want, you can able to create it and you can able to destroy it. So meaning, so it will allow only the active session is there. That's it. You got it, what I'm trying to say? So it will allow only till the active session. After the next day, it will be completely destroyed. So again, you need to create it. So in such a way, some sandbox environments are there. So we will figure it out accordingly. Okay. So as of now, for the few days or typically for 1 month, our free credits are enough for us to survive. Okay. Okay, guys. Any questions? Any more questions or anything? Yeah. Okay. Okay, guys. Then have a nice day. Have a nice evening. We'll meet you in tomorrow next class. Okay. Bye, guys.